Thanks everyone for coming tonight, and thank you to Radu as well for being here. I was wondering if you could say something about the casting.
We made casting for the wife character. It was not easy because it's one of the maybe the hardest part in the casting. But eventually Mirela was, I think, the best, and the fact that she is Mimi's wife didn't count too much. Let's say 5 or 6% more.
And what about when you were shooting? Like, was she on the set or kind of off the set? Like, you know, at the scene at the beginning, for example, when he's with Raluca.
No, of course she was not on the set.
Yeah.
And that applied for Maria's husband, who is actually one of the scriptwriters, who actually wrote that scene. So it's kind of perverse, but...
It worked, okay. So you achieve an amazing naturalism in the way you portray the relationships. And I mean the key scenes, for example, at the dentist and the scene where he confesses to his wife as well, they're quite emotionally complex and they're portrayed in, you know, shot in these really long takes. How did you manage to choreograph that very kind of precise interaction between all of the characters?
Well, the hardest scene to choreograph was the dental cabinet scene, because we had like 5 characters in the room, and I knew that from the start that I want to shoot it in one scene, and but I wanted, through the movement of the characters and the way they position towards the camera, to somehow cut inside of the frame. Let's say redirect the attention of the viewer towards one part of the screen, if you want. And in this respect, I wanted to cut in. I said I wanted to cut inside of the scene. So this wasn't easy, and this was another problem at the shooting. Mirela, the actress who played the wife, was really emotional. I don't know why, and she could not pretend she don't know about things. I mean, you could feel a certain tension at the shooting, which I didn't want, because the character should not feel anything wrong. The tension should be between the man and his mistress, not at the wife. So this was really hard for me to put away, if you want.
Nu știu dacă sunteți în temă cu problema mare și cu ce o să facem noi aici.
Cât de cât.
Nu știu cât v-a spus domnul Hangan.
Mi-a zis el ceva.
Ce-am reținut și eu.
Păi atunci o să vă explic și eu. Gămara dinții de jos sunt puțin în afara dinților de sus.
The little girl, the child, she was very unpredictable, an unpredictable element in the shooting. In a let's say 7 or 8 minute shot, it's always something you don't want at the shooting. But I don't know. Finally, it went the way I wanted.
And did you shoot the film chronologically?
Yes. Yes. I had this luxury. I had only 21 days of shooting, so I really wanted things to be done chronologically, because I somehow felt the tension of the film would grow until the end of the shoot, towards the end of the shooting. So, yeah.
And this naturalism and this focus on kind of everyday lived reality have become hallmarks of this Romanian new wave style that's been quite dominant recently. Why did you use this style Do you see it as a reaction to what came before, and how much do you feel like you were influenced by other directors who are working at the moment?
Who are working at the moment where? Where?
In Romania, for example, Porumboiu or Cristi Puiu.
I don't know how we influence one another. I always get this kind of question about Romanian New Wave, and I always said that I really don't know. I am not a film critic. I'm sure you know better than me about this, and I'm not a big fan of labeling film movements or directors or films or whatever. But my lucky guess probably is that yeah, this comes from a sort of frustration that we had about what was before us in Romanian cinema, and I think we have in common the need to make more honest and straightforward films.
See it as kind of like he's having a kind of a midlife crisis, or do you see it as he's actually achieving some kind of happiness and enacting a change for himself?
In trying to achieve his happiness, yeah, he's making a big sacrifice. That's all the film it's all about.
So
this choice that he has at one point. I don't know what happened after the credits. It's their life, it's their problem. It's all I wanted to say about them and about what happened with them. Well, what happened to Paul is sort of say, be careful what you want, and because it might happen that at one point in your life.
Two other script writing partners on this, so I think you've worked quite a lot with. Can you say something about that process? How does it work? I mean, do you each write different sections, or what happens when you come together to make the script?
Yeah, it's the third film that we wrote together, and now we just finished the fourth script. We're working very well together, I think. We spent a lot of time developing the treatment, which in this case was the hardest one. In Tuesday After Christmas, it took us almost 1 year to develop. It was hard because it's kind of personal, and each of us has a different life experience, and so yeah, it was different and difficult. But after we finished the treatment, we split the script in three, and each of us is writing his own part, and then we share the parts, and every other two guys has their own objections maybe, or problems about what the other guy is writing. So, and in the end we kind of glue all the three parts together.
And was there much or any kind of disagreement when you came back together with your different parts that you'd written?
Not major disagreements. But this was, I think, the most difficult script that we wrote together. It was not without bumps, you know, the roads to the script.
I mean, thematically, so the film you made before, Boogie, I don't know how many audience members would have seen that, but it deals with a similar kind of issue, you know, like a guy in a relationship with a wife and child who's kind of, you know, tempted to go back to his youth, or, you know...
In a way, yeah, in a way. Although I think they are quite different films.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, films that are dealing with relationship predicaments,
Yeah.
What draws you to making those kind of films?
Around 30 something, and I really felt what the main character felt at that point. I mean, the main character it's I think it's somehow in between lives, in between his present life with his wife and kid, which is okay. I mean, he's happy with his life, but he also wants to be young and free again, and without responsibilities, and be able to spend the night in town with the boys, and of course this he don't have this freedom anymore. So yeah, you can have both.
Auzi, mă gândeam să iau și ceva mare de pus sub brad.
De ce?
Așa aș vrea eu. Mă gândeam că aș putea să le dau la cabinet. Așa nici n-ar fi probleme.
Mă, nu. Ce sens are?
De ce?
Nu de probleme, dar n-are deocamdată niciun sens, nu?
Face mie plăcere.
Sau să mai tot fie ocazie. Mă rog.
Se pare deplasat?
Că ce?
Cadou.
Doamne ferește.
And how did you get into filmmaking?
Myself?
Yeah.
I didn't know what else to do.
It's a good reason.
No, I was when I was, I don't know, 16, 17. I enjoyed a lot watching films on my VHS. Also, my father worked in television, so I liked his more loose schedule, if you like. He got up early, not so early in the morning, and so I think that maybe a liberal kind of job suits me better. So yeah, that was the starting point. But eventually, I start to enjoy a lot writing short stories and try to imagine them how they should be transformed into small films.
Ce mai rău, mă, Paul? Ce mai rău de atât? Ce mai rău?
Îți faci mai rău.
Was that exhausting for the actors? I mean, especially I think the actress goes through so many emotions in that scene.
Yeah, but they are trained to do this long shots. It was hard because it was one point of the scene when she should cry. She should come, not only cry, but come to a sort of emotional point. If she could not achieve this kind of emotional top, everything that went after that, and I think it was in minute number 5, everything towards the end of the shot will go down. It was almost like this, and she could only once at take number 10 achieve this emotional peak.
The other two screenwriters you worked with,
Yeah.
are you all men?
Yes.
And I'm wondering, you said that at the end of this film you were happy, you know, their life is over as far as you're concerned. You're not projecting what went on in the future for them. But did you have an overall message that, aside from specifically what happened in their lives, were you sending a message of, did you have a theme that you wanted to portray with this, or were you just giving a slice of life?
Listen, when I'm making films, I don't pretend I know all the answers.
Right.
For me, it's like a journey, you know? It's like trying to raise some questions, and for me it's important to put these questions and dealing with these kind of situations. I did not want to judge the character, or to put a certain moral stamp on the film. This was absolutely not my intention. I don't think either of the characters are the antagonists in the film. I mean, of course, you can say Paul is guilty, but not really for me. I mean, he's not a womanizer. He just happened to fall in love with another woman. And what do you do in this kind of situation when you still love your wife and when passionately in love with another woman? It's really an impossible choice. It's like, I don't know, cutting a part of your body if you want to live. You know, it's a sacrifice that you should do. I'm just exploring this kind of situation, not more. I don't have all the answers, unfortunately.
Yeah, I thought it was a wonderful little moment in the end of the film when the wife had the present, and you saw that you just got a reminder of what their relationship had been before and the length of it.
This is a gesture that would remind you how painful this would be for Paul to have this the last Christmas together in this family, when this bond it's close, it's so close between the husband and wife. Because in my film, I think that their relationship is not finished. I mean, it's still something there, still some gestures that out of you can feel that it's something, and he still cares about his wife in a way. So this makes it even more painful.
There were three things that seemed to make up for me. One, when he went out with his friend, the other guy, and the younger girl.
Yeah.
So you had another incident of a breakup, and a man, I don't know that he was married before, but certainly he's now going with a young girl. Then you said sacrifice, that he sacrificed his life by telling his wife. I don't think he sacrificed anything. I think he made a decision to do what he felt he wanted to do. I don't think my feeling was that he didn't, I mean, there was the option of staying married, wasn't there, and seeing the girl. But he made a decision. I don't think he sacrificed anything. The third thing, though, was that at the end of the film, when he's drinking beer at the window and he's got his friend on the bed drinking beer, he smiles, and the other guy smiles. And it's almost a kind of a victory to men. No, I'm just reading into it.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's happening with this kind of movies? Everyone interprets this movie, I don't know, somehow in relationship with his own life experience, his own sensitivity, which I am okay with. I mean, I cannot stop this this way of seeing the film, but I don't agree with most of what you said. I don't think it's a smile of victory anyway. It's a bitter, sweet smile.
Did they smile at the end?
Of course they smile, but because the friend smiles, because you know, it's a big difference between those guys. The other friend, it's the type of bachelor that it's changing girls all the time. The main character is discussing with his wife about this. Now it's Narcisa, 2 months ago was another one, so this is his style of life. And they were making somehow fun of these guys, of this guy's option of life. And in the end, it's on the contrary. The husband now it's starting a new life in a very girly type of apartment, and it's for me it's not funny at all. For the friend, it's a bit ironic. And
I just had one. You mentioned before that you don't have an agenda. You know, when you're writing it, you just write it as you see it, and I understand that. I'm using different words than you did.
yeah.
But it doesn't mean that something isn't going on in your mind that you may not be aware of that will come out in the film.
No, I didn't say I don't have an agenda. I know exactly what I want to shoot. I said that I don't want a moral judgment on my characters.
Yeah, okay.
That's different.
Yeah, you're right. I used the wrong word. But that doesn't mean you didn't have, it doesn't mean that there wasn't some sort of moral judgment. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't come out sort of in the film.
I don't think, I was trying to maintain a certain equilibrium between the characters. I didn't want, I don't know if this is clear for everybody, but for me that was the intention. I didn't want to make Paul, the main character, a womanizer. I think he was a good husband until now. He just had this problem of fall in love with this girl. I don't think that the mistress is a cheap lady at all. I think she had the problem of falling in love with the wrong guy, with the married guy. And I don't think the wife is a ugly or dull wife. She's quite interesting and pretty or whatever. I was trying to avoid this kind of cliches that will simplify the situation. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah? Well, what about the child then? Because that wasn't mentioned. I mean, he's losing his child. Is that of no consequence in the film?
It is, but I'm not sure that he's losing his child. I mean, there's a lot of couples that are divorced these days, and that doesn't mean they will lose their children. I'm sure that he will see the child, and you cannot. I mean, it's part of this. It's part of the sacrifice that I mentioned. It is a sacrifice for me, because he can play this part for some time for now on, but after the dental office scene, somehow he could very clearly visualize his problem, and he could not live anymore in this kind of lie. You know, that's why he told the wife the truth. For me, that was the reason I gave the character. So it is, in a way, a way of dealing with the situation that can be said it's a sacrifice.
Dom, știi să cântați? Hai!
Dom, sănătăm, dom, sănătăm. Am plecat să colindăm, dom, sănătăm. Când boierii nu-s acasă, dom, sănătăm. Dom, sănătăm, dom, sănătăm. Am plecat la vânătoare, dom, sănătăm. Să vâne de căprioare, dom, sănătăm. Dom, sănătăm, dom, sănătăm.
Christmas, it's for most of Romanian families a family time. A time when you are close with your family, you want to spend with your family. And this became important for Paul and his wife and his family, but also for the mistress, because for her it's a time that she would be reminded that Paul is not her man, you know. He belongs to other family. So that's why Christmas is important in the film.
The gentleman who introduced the movie said that it was seen in many markets other than the UK.
Yes.
Could you go market by market and tell me, or market by market, and tell us how commercially successful was your movie? Romania and then everywhere else.
It's a sad story for every Romanian film. In Romania, people don't go to see Romanian films. They prefer American blockbusters, not even other European films. I don't know why. It's still maybe something from the past.
I'm from Serbia, so I know.
Yeah, so for a lot...
I know how it works.
Yeah, for a lot of time, they wanted to see American films, and they didn't have this chance. And now they have the chance, and they come to see only this kind of films. My kind of... this kind of film, and this is somehow the case for almost all the Romanian films, are made for people, let's say, between 25 or then 45. Let's say, if we were talking commercially, this will be the target, yeah? And these people in Romania, as elsewhere probably, have a lot of responsibilities, families, hard job, and when they come home, they don't want to go in the cinema and to see their life again, and their problems again. They want to see something light, something with, I don't know, starships and fights, or maybe a romantic comedy, why not? And think of something else. So in Romania, if you have 50 admissions or 20,000 admissions, you have a hit.
And it's a 25 or so million.
Yes.
The country.
Yes, it's a sad story. This is art house release. So everywhere in the world, it's a niche. You will find this film only in art house cinemas. Only in Romania, it's in the multiplexes alongside with the blockbusters, and nobody comes to see it. But I like the film to be seen in a good condition. That's why I'm really happy with the job that Second Run did with this release.
So you've been doing some community workshops. This project in the East End, East Meets East. Could you maybe kind of say something about that?
Well, yeah, this is an initiative of Romanian Cultural Institute and I think Four Corners about making some workshops with young people from, I think, East London, if I'm right. Most of them are here, so. I thought it's an interesting idea.
When you go out, there's some DVDs for sale in the corridor, and they've all been signed as well. So thanks for coming, everybody, and thank you, Radu.
Thanks, man.